Ah, Rome, the land of gladiator battles, innovation, infinite population, I guess. And then the great shit like the tunics, the perfumes, the questionable sexuality, the public bathrooms. Oh, take me back to the all great Rome. In all seriousness, based on the title and the intro, I guess you already know what I'm finna be talking about today. Rome! Yes, the all great Roman Empire. Starting out as a small republic and turning into the empire that encapsulated the entire Mediterranean Sea. The originators of what we see as Western culture. Them and the Greeks, let me not take away the Greeks' credit, and they created every incel's favorite gesture. But in all seriousness, they laid down the foundation for our Western government structures, like our republics and our democracy, our architecture, like the ones we see in America, even though most of the population has Germanic origins. Even our languages are influenced by the Romans, like the Romance languages, French, Spanish, and what the fuck is the other ones?
The other ones is Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian.
Who the fuck gives a damn about Romanian? No disrespect to them people, but they look like German dressing Mexicans. I apologize to the Romanian subscribers I do not have. God's sake, they even influence our calendars and weekdays. July being named after Julius Caesar, and Saturday being named after the Roman god of war, Saturn. But sadly, like all great things, the Roman Empire fell in 476 AD. Rome never fell. I'm right here. Oh, Lord. Well, never mind. Rome never fell, according to all these dumbass niggas. Each one claims to be the successor to Rome, so I, myself, the only worthy one, will explore who has the best case, starting with Italy. Right off the bat, Italy has the borders of the original Roman Republic, and they're actually Latin, unlike some people here. Ah yes, these spaghetti-eating, mustache-twirling, mob boss-having ass niggas are actually pretty similar to the original Rome. They actually have the Roman city in their borders, are Latin, and speak a language that derived from the original Latin language that the Romans spoke. And if you know some of their fascist history, being the descendants of Rome was kind of a big thing. The only thing fucking these niggas case over, they've been so goddamn trash since then. First of all, they're part of the Western Roman Empire, which was the first to fall out of the two halves. Then we go to the Napoleonic age. He not only whooped they ass, but took them over too. Then we go to both world wars. They managed to be on the bad guy side in both, and perform like straight ass cheeks too. They were morally trash and just ass all at the same time. But these niggas aren't the successor to Rome just because of all that shit. Rome is D Wade and Italy is Zaire Wade. Rome is LeBron and Italy is Bronny. Man, Rome is Wayne Gretzky and Italy is Trevor Gretzky. Hey man, if you understand that pool, you know better. But if I had to give Italy a score from 1 through 10, it would be a 7. Has the lineage, has the language, and it has the borders. But they were just ass. Alright, on to the next one. Next, we have the Germans. God damn, my niggas, shut the fuck up. As you just heard, their language can be very loud, but for their case to being the successor of Rome, that shit makes no sense. If we look back at the history between the Germanic people and the Romans, we see they were not allies. Actually, them niggas hated each other. They attempted to take the German region back in the day, which they called Germania, but once 3 other legions were annihilated, they just gave up. Romans even gave these niggas the titles of barbarians, which in the original Latin tongue just means non-Roman. That shit still sounds offensive. Like, put it in the right tone. Get away from me, you non-Roman. Then later on, the Visigoths, who are Germanic people, ended up sacking Rome. As we see, these niggas can't be Rome, as they were one of Rome's biggest ops. But let's expand a little bit to see if they have a case or not. Looking at their border history, outside of when they had Austria as an entity, they have never had any of the Roman borders, and being a part of the Holy Roman Empire doesn't count, which we'll talk about the HRE later in this video. Then we look at their architecture. They have none of the Roman architecture. Their language doesn't even derive from Roman. Goddamn, they don't even like the same food as the Romans. But Germans were happy just being Germans until one man came along, motherfucking this guy. During the Third Reich, or the Nazi era of Germany, he's looking like that one white nigga we all know who likes hip-hop. His ass started culturally appropriating, taking Roman imagery, text. He even took the salute, which is now synonymous with racist shit. But for their case to be Rome, they get a 0. You guys know Roman. But wait, hold on. Them beating Rome means they technically snatched their chain, which means they can claim their identity now. So they get a 5 out of 10. On to our next buddy. This shit right here make even less sense than the Germans. First of all, they didn't even exist until 386 years after Rome fell. Second of all, these boys are white, which the Romans are technically white too, but that's not what I'm talking about. These boys are white. They live in the snow and they like guns, and their language is intimidating as fuck. But when we open up their case for being Rome, it's the biggest piece of dog shit. For a nation that resides nowhere near connected to the Mediterranean Sea, these boys have to come up with some creative logic on why they were the successors to Rome. So their idea is, the strongest Christian nation inherits the throne to Rome. So when Rome and the Byzantine Empire fell, they inherited the mantle as the Christian savior or protector, labeling themselves the Third Rome, as they spoke in a Slavic language in the Middle Eastern looking building, while having light-colored or ginger hair with light-colored eyes.
Get the fuck out of here!
You see what I'm alluding to, right? Their case is absolute zero. They are no Russian. Wrong thing. They are no Roman. Now we have the Byzantine and Holy Roman Empire, aka the Dead Boy. They've been gone for a long time now, but they're some of the youngest nations to ever claim to be the successor of Rome. So fuck it, might as well look at what their cases were. Starting with the HRE. There's a joke in the history community about the HRE being not holy, nor Roman, nor an empire. Reason being why they weren't holy was, number one, the empire, Charlemagne, was actively in conflict with the Pope, which is kind of like the highest figure in the Catholic Church. Going against the Pope is like going against your black granny. She runs everything in this shit. And they didn't run like a theocracy, nigga. They were just secular as hell. Then they weren't an empire because this shit was, just look at this shit. If you play any Paradox games that has borders, this is what we would call border gore. This shit's so ugly, man. But all these little things in here ran semi-independent, meaning unlike a true empire, the emperor didn't really control everything. Then the most important thing to this video is they are not Roman. They're a bunch of Germanic nations. I can't lie, the Germanic people love false claiming, I see. But unlike the others, it has a decent amount of the Romans' original territory. Plus, these people here were actually ruled over by the Romans. So they kind of had a legitimate claim to be a successor because they're a conglomerate of remnants of the Western Roman Empire. Despite being Germanic, at least they spoke a Romance language, aka the predecessor to French, which is a Romance language. So out of every single nation on here, I'm gonna give this case a 6. Now for their eastern twin, the Byzantine Empire. So the Byzantine Empire might have the best case of anything on here. Despite being Greek, guess who influenced the Romans? The Greek niggas! Before the Romans switched to Catholicism, their gods were inspired by the Greek god, which I can't even say inspired, nigga. They just stole them and just changed the names to them. Saturn, Ares. Jupiter, Zeus, etc., etc. Even after that, they are the legitimate successor to the Eastern Roman Empire. Not the successor, they are the Eastern Roman Empire. Their capital, Constantinople, which is modern day Istanbul now, was named after a former Roman emperor, Constantine. But they had it all. The origins, the architecture, not to mention, they're the only ones here to ever influence the Romans. The Byzantine Empire gets a 10 out of 10, but they fail. Kind of. They exist as Greece, but they're not the same thing. Greece is the Italy to the Byzantine Empire. And side note real quick, for all my CK3 fans, Chapter 5 looking kinda fire. That Silk and Silver and By God Alone DLC, I'm about to make this channel big enough so I can cop that one day. But as I look upon this great city, the ones who once existed are gone. The only way to bring them back is to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with the others. Oh yeah, and here's the ranking. The Byzantine Empire had the best case. But I'll catch up with you later!